The plan here is to get to Fraser Island. We sailed our way up the coast and stopped in at the last little headland called Double Island Point. If you're lucky, on the inside of Double Island Point there is sometimes this sand lagoon where sailors and boaties can anchor on the inside of that and get out of the waves. Unlucky for us, it was completely closed off and we had to spend the night in quite possibly the worst anchorage we've been in yet. Before crossing the notorious Wide Bay Bar, it's recommended that you do 3 things. Contact Tymon Bay Coast Guard and get the latest updated GPS coordinates for the waypoints that you need to follow. Log on and log off with them before and after your crossing, and enter or exit at high tide. 1530800.
Yep.
So tomorrow morning, to get the tide right, we're going to need to get there. It's 10 nautical miles away. We're going to have to leave very early in the morning and hopefully start our actual bar crossing at about 6 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so plan is go to bed. That is all. Okay, plan is get coffees ready, get the boat ready all tonight, and basically just wake up, smash coffee and go. And we need to get there by 6 o'clock. If we are too late, then we basically just got to turn around and come home.
Seasickness tablets.
Seasickness tablets, yep. Smash a couple of those. You know what? You should wake up at 12 and smash one and go back to sleep.
Yeah, I think I would have one tonight and one at 2.
Oh my god, I won't even be able to wake you up. I'll just wake you up when we get to Fraser, baby. It is 2 o'clock in the morning. I had the worst sleep and then I woke up and I thought maybe it was close to 2 o'clock, so I might as well just get up, and I rolled over and had a look at my phone and it was 10 o'clock yesterday evening. Oh, brutal. I'm also sick as well and this anchorage is quite rolly, but just gonna finish this little coffee and then we're gonna get underway. The sun is just coming up. I've just passed reference point number 1 and it's 20 to 6. The Coast Guard comes online at 6 o'clock, so we can log on with Tymon Bay Coast Guard. Coast Guard, Tymon Bay Coast Guard, this is sailing vessel Frankie Knuckles, over. Maybe something's going on with our VHF. Well, we're committed now, so... But it's looking pretty good. I've got the reference points. I'm pretty confident. I'm just gonna go anyway.
Okay.
And then when we get in, we'll give them a call and see if they can
Do a radio check.
do a radio check. Yeah.
Would you want to call them now?
Oh yeah. Good morning, mate. We just tried to call you on the VHF. We think we might have some troubles with the VHF. You haven't heard anything? We're just crossing the Wide Bay Bar at the moment, sailing vessel Frankie Knuckles. What channel? Because we called you on 80 and 82. What channel? Cool, will do. Thank you very much. Do have some breaking waves over here. It's pretty nerve-wracking crossing any bar in Australia, especially when there's breaking waves either side of you. We later found out that our VHF issue was we didn't have one. The VHF cable up to the mast is made out of 2 cables joined together, and one of those is faulty. Whoops. There must be a little local knowledge way to get out the bar, because we've seen a few catamarans duck straight away south, and these 3 are headed the same direction, so there must be another little way to get out there. And that was the Wide Bay Bar. We picked a good day. It was uneventful, just how we like it. That over there is the mainland in Skip Point, and even better, that's Kate, but that over there is Fraser Island, and that's where we want to do a multi-day hike. We don't actually know what we're doing now. We have to at least anchor just around the corner here and wait out the tide, because we can't battle the tide with the electric motor. Good 6 hours to figure out what we're doing and where we're going. And that's that. I'm exhausted. It's time for bed. Whilst waiting for the tide to turn in our favour, we caught up on some much needed sleep, and then we were back underway. And away we go! Cruising with an electric motor is obviously different from having a diesel on hand. I found that if I stick to the rule of 2/3, everything else just seems to fall into place. More or less. Wind, tide, and visibility. If I don't have at least 2 of these 3, I don't go. And when I break my own rule of 2/3, well, you'll see a little bit later on what happens. That might have been thunder. A boat we've been running into a fair bit. You won't be able to see him, but he's just up there. They left, and so now we're trying to catch him. Good old-fashioned race, I tell ya. This autopilot, which I may or may have not done a video of the install yet, is compensating for the tide. Our waypoint bearing is 315 degrees magnetic, and it's steering us at 330 because we have tide coming in this way. So we want to go that way, but it's sort of pointing us a little bit up, which is really cool. It's really, really cool. We have dark and stormies. Kate is on find my drone detail because I lost my drone and I've got a new one getting sent out and they're sending it to the wrong spot, and so Kate's sorting that out for me.
Life admin.
And there's a thunderstorm chasing us. What'd you say before, Kate?
No more trial Wi-Fi, just cruising sailing would be much appreciated.
So we are almost windless now and still doing 3.5 knots, which is all tide. This is what I like to call gondola sailing. 90% tide, 10% wind. So nice and calm, so nice and still. We just need the man in the uniform with the stick on the back of the boat propelling us along. It makes it so much nicer because we've just spent like 5 days out in the rolly ocean having to sort of anchor off Noosa and having to anchor off Double Island Point where we couldn't find any sheltered spots, and so we just had to sleep in super rolly conditions. So yeah, it just makes it all a bit nicer right now, and it's bloody spectacular, especially with that storm in the background and the lightning. Cheers. The next morning we hauled anchor to continue our passage through the Great Sandy Straits. We're trying to get up to Kingfisher Bay Resort where we can anchor safely and have really good access to Fraser Island. Good morning. It is 6 o'clock in the morning. I tried to be quiet but it didn't work. I woke Kate up with pulling an anchor up and the anchor alarm going off. I just thought I'd make use of the last couple of hours of the tide. It's so nice and peaceful out here. That was really a spectacular spot. That was just so calm, so much nature. Yeah, this is what it's all about. You good? It is shallow through here. Kate, what did you just do?
I didn't do anything.
So we just kissed the bottom. The depth is fluctuating like within a meter, like quite quickly. It would go to like from 1.6 down to 0.8, 0.6, and there may be a reason why we're only seeing boats go past at high tide. All right, we've got a new plan. By my calculations, if we wait here till 6:45 in the evening, we should have an extra meter of water underneath us. We'll go slow. We just got to get through this bit. There's just this shallow bit through here, and then we're into deeper water again and safe water. But the rest is going to be done at night time, unfortunately. So that's it for you guys. We are just about to set off once again. Last night was pretty hectic. So I have this rule of 3 out of 2 things we need before we go, because we're electric: visibility, tide and wind, and if we don't have 2 of 3 of those, we don't go.
How many did we have last night?
Like less than -1. We didn't have wind, we didn't have tide, and we didn't have visibility. So we had 0 of 3, but we were in a little section, and you realize this, you can tell when you come to a big island like this where there's 2 inlets for the water with the tides, you can tell where the tides sort of meet because there's a heap of sand and it was really shallow.
Yeah, I guess where the tides meet, there's no There's no cleaning out of the sand.
Yeah, and we were only needing to go a couple of nautical miles, so that's why I decided we were just going to go. It was nighttime. There was supposed to be enough water, and the wind was relatively light. So then we set off and we're committed, and then the wind sort of picked up. The depth initially was varying like within like 2 meters, which was pretty worrying considering we were sort of almost on the top of the high tide. And then we got one of 3 visibilities back because there was lots of lightning because we got hit by a storm. And so now we are where it's at nighttime, sort of a storm. There was lots of wind. Now we're committed, and I'm just like, we just got to get through back into sort of deep water where we can anchor and get to safety. And Auto was an absolute godsend. We had wind and tide. It was really hard for me to keep a constant course at nighttime without some good like visual aids. And I knew it'd do way better a job, and it did. It kept us basically bang on the line where I was sort of all over the shop. We were just basically instrument flying, weren't we?
Yep. Yeah, very much trust in the instrument.
It was very stressful, but we did awesome. That was a bit of excitement last night. Obviously, we couldn't capture it for you guys, being dark and all that. But now we're about to head off and we'll finally get to Kingfisher.
Yeah.
So that just really hammers home that if we don't have 2 of 3, we don't go. I know this already, and last night just really cemented it. 2 of 3, no matter what. 2 of 3. All the essentials, bolognese, and we're having bolognese the first night as well. And apple and berry crumble. Lots of muesli. She keeps laughing at my milk. I don't know why that's such a silly thing.
1 kilo of milk.
1.2. Man's got to have his milk. That's what I've always said. Kate's done. I am very much been just led by Kate. Do this. No, you don't need that. No, you don't need your teddy bear. How much do you reckon it weighs?
10.2. What is it?
21.
Ultralight master. How much of that is milk?
13. Okay, what do you reckon yours is?
Mine's got to be around 10.
13.
Oh.
It's 20 kilos a lot.
Yeah.
Oh well, I'm a boss, so I probably won't even notice. So at low tide, this didn't seem very far. The only way I think we could do this is anchor this far out. Tender, take everything to the beach, then I'll come back out here, tender up, and then swim to shore. What are you so nervous about?
Well, it's hard to leave Frankie.
Yeah, I know. Right now I'm more concerned with the 500-kilometer swim to shore, so I can get back on the boat in 3 days time. Look how it's getting further. It's really far.
It's a nice morning for a swim.
Got it. Our neighbours saw me, came over and gave me a lift. I didn't have to swim at all, which is great. And they gave us some sashimi. They're like, yeah, we could do that. You want some sashimi? Yes, please. So that's going to be breakfast. Did you drink all my milk? It feels lighter. Whoa! So glad I didn't have to swim. Do you know where we're going? Must.
Hiking breakfast.
We're $1 million right now. Thanks, guys. Route 1. Here we go. Oh, bit of initiation. This is a pretty steep hill. It's pretty brutal. Congratulations, you have climbed hill number 1 of 400. Would you like a cookie? Well, I guess that answers the question whether there's snakes on Fraser or not. It looked like a brown snake, not very big, maybe 60 centimeters. I would have stepped on him if I didn't hear him. The sandy hills are indeed pretty brutal. Ah, yes, I'm at the top. Looks surprisingly chipper. I don't think that's an accurate representation of people when they get to the top of this hill. And his pack looks way too small. Doesn't have any shoes on. Got no hands. Don't know how he's holding onto that stick.
Yeah, I had to like jump in the car to get away from him, and then he stood outside the car.
This is a goanna. It looks like this. Kate's goanna story. I jumped in the car.
Yeah, and then he stood guard there for a while, and then I had to throw eggs in the bush to get him to go away.
Did he go eat them?
Yeah, that's why he walked away.
Pretty. I do have a silly amount of electronics on me to be doing this. Can you actually see her? Kate's up to her shoulders. Can you take my electronics across?
Sure.
I feel as stupid as I look. Ooh, it's getting real deep. It's getting real deep. Lake McKenzie is the blue gem of Fraser Island. Being a perched lake means it only contains rainwater. No groundwater, it isn't fed by streams and doesn't flow to the ocean. The whitest sand I've ever seen, and I'm from Australia. Pure white silica. Apparently this sand is really good for cleaning your gold or your silver jewelry. I don't have any gold or silver yet. Wow.
This water is a mess.
So this lake, all of this black stuff, I think is just like organic matter that falls on the bottom. And all here is normally dark, but because so many people come here and swim, it becomes crystal clear and white. And off we go again. Lake McKenzie was pretty. 6.6 k's to Central Station. Kay reckons I'll find another stick to prop up our tent with. I don't know, what do you reckon?
Tymon was worried there was not going to be any sticks.
I did say we should buy a tent pole because then we might not find any sticks. Ugh. Big tree. How tall do you reckon? Big tree. High fives. That was way more difficult than I expected.
Me too.
What is beef stroganoff? Bolognese ragu, and it's got cheese in there. So the coffee's in the jet boil. I was laughing at Kate's overnight oats, but they actually taste really good. It might have been a smarter idea than bringing 17 litres of milk. So, on that note, we've decided to go home. A, we're not prepared. B, we don't have enough water, and we're dubious about our fuel to boil enough water, and that would take ages as well. And C, this hike involved hiking out on a road, on a sandy road, and there's not many people on the island this time of year, and I plan to just hitchhike out. It's not a very busy road, and so I'm not confident that we will be able to hitch out. Yeah, we just need to be a little bit better at it before we do 3 days. Kate put it really well. If we keep going, it's just for the sake of keeping going, not because we'd be super enjoying it. Adventure, adventure, adventure. This just in, Kate and Tymon continue their walk. Will they make it back? Will they run out of water? Will they get a lift back on day 4? We don't know because they don't know. Oh no. It's like a rolly dog. Oh, the highs and lows. So we're going home. We thought today was the shorter day, and it's turning out to be a massive long day because we read the map wrong. And the only reason we really want to keep on going is see these giant trees, the Valley of Giants. We just worked out that we won't be able to see those big trees unless we stay there 2 nights. I don't want to go all that way and not see the sort of draw card. It would be like walking to the lake and not seeing the lake. So yeah, that's definitely not going to happen. So now we're going to head home. On a brighter note, Kate has messed with my pack and it feels so much better. And because I got rid of my 7 litres of milk, it's heaps lighter as well. So you reckon we should look at the map again because we might read it wrong? We finally made it back. We got a lift. They picked us up and took us the last like 3 or 4 Ks, which was awesome. And even better, that's Frankie Knuckles. He hasn't gone anywhere. It's low tide. That takes like 100 meters off my swim, maybe more. This is where I stashed my fins. Yes. Just a short swim and then we're home. Now I'm swimming out to the boat with a GoPro recording. This would be like the classic shark attack video, you know? Something you'd see on a movie. Like the bad camera angles. Anywho, time to pick up Kate.